Have you ever walked through the grocery store, grabbed something that looks healthy in the aisle, and then turned it over to find out it's packed with sugar, calories, and saturated fat? Now, imagine you're one of the many countless Canadians struggling to afford groceries and relying on food banks, where most of the shelf-stable options are even more processed, low in nutrients, and loaded with fat, sugar, and empty calories. Today on Busybodies, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many Canadians. What's actually in the food we eat today? And we'll talk to a guest that brings ancient knowledge from India about how to make nutrition convenient, accessible, and affordable with NutrieEasy. Hi, my name is Becca DeLocht, and I am your host from the podcast Busybodies. Welcome to Busybodies, my new podcast where we empower busy women to prioritize their health and wellness, promoting body positivity. Each week, we explore topics that promote body positivity and self-love, providing a supportive community and practical guidance for women, one conversation at a time. In today's episode, we will contrast the typical Canadian eating pattern with the more holistic, farm-to-table traditions seen in India, where dense grains, lentils, and nutrient-rich ingredients are everyday staples. And we'll explore how bringing that kind of nourishment to Canadian plates could change lives. To explore this, we're joined by a remarkable guest, a nutrition entrepreneur whose personal journey sheds light on a much bigger story. In her last episode, she described how she came to Canada and her humble beginnings. In this episode, she'll be talking about her solution, NutrieEasy. So settle in. This is a powerful conversation about the foods we choose, the foods we're offered, and how one entrepreneur is working to reshape the landscape of everyday nutrition. I'm talking about Khurana. Welcome.
Yes, I was ignoring my physical health big time. And again, the reason I would say I knew it, but I had no choice for that. And I knew that because if I had to choose nutrient-rich food, I didn't have the money for it. So I was literally living on food which was given to me by food shelters primarily. And on top of it, because I had restrictions of what I can eat, and out of that, whatever they could get, because we have some restrictions, we don't eat some sorts of meats, like we don't eat beef, and finally my kids started eating pork because I wanted them to give, but I was by choice a vegetarian. And vegetarian food in this country, even the so-called nutrient food, is crap. If you look at the label,
Even though the tofu, it's like a big clunk of it. It's like, oh, this is delicious. I'm going to put that in my food. Yum, yum.
Tofu
Yum,
is
yum.
good. Yeah, but then look at the cost of the tofu, the good tofu, if you would see. But then there are certain other products, majority, like if you look at so many, even vegetables. Look at the non-GM, the things which are cheaper, they are so genetically modified. So they're not really giving you any nutrients. And as a result, I had no choice. I was like, I cannot look at all that stuff. Back in India, I would look for organic and GMO products. We never had any GMO products. Till date in India, we are all non-GMO. Everything in India on any food oil is non-GMO. Here, everything is GMO.
Yes. And it's all costs like $5 for red pepper. You're like, yeah, I could have bought two of this other product, but this one is supposed to be healthier and it's only going to serve one meal.
Back in India, it's very different. It's literally what we call here as the most premium thing, farm to table, is the regular way of life there.
Wow.
Every day you would go to the market, or even if you don't go, in fact, you don't need to go because there are so many delivery services. Every day, fresh plucked vegetables of that day can be delivered to you within 10 minutes, fraction of cost from here. So having said that, when you are used to of eating that healthy, and then you come here, to give you an example, that the very basic, one of the most staple thing in any kitchen is flour, right? Because you need to, whether you make a bread out of it or whether a flat bread or what we call as roti, You need that to be accompanied with anything, whether you like to eat vegetables or meat, you need some sort of bread with it. Now, flour, if you go to any flour, most of the here you would find all-purpose flour. You know what is
Yeah.
that? It's a
Highly
part
refined.
of wheat which is super refined, super refined, removed with from all the nutrients, including fiber. In India, we never ever use that. We discard it. Part of the
Salty, huh?
whole wheat, which is literally discarded or is left for some occasional snack. Otherwise, the breads that are made from the whole wheat or the primarily the outer, the what we call as a husk of the wheat, which is
Hmm.
very dense, nutrient dense, and has a lot of fiber.
Today, guess what I made? I had French toast. You can imagine what that's made with: white bread, eggs, some vanilla. Then you mix it all up, put some
Yeah,
milk in there. I put some cinnamon, some nutmeg, stir it around, slap that in a pan. That's my meal.
yeah.
That's the thing
And
they throw away,
yes,
right?
what we eat here is thrown away there because it's
Yeah.
not it coming from India. And you, if you follow like Indian nutritional sciences, is based on Ayurveda. Are you aware of Ayurveda?
Fortunately not.
So Ayurveda is also a holistic wellness science, or you can say alternative medicine, as US calls it.
Yeah.
But it's a holistic wellness science in itself. It's based on herbs, foods, everything, and the science of what foods work with what other ingredients, what should not be mixed, what should be mixed, how it should be, in what time of the day it should be consumed, what kind of body should consume what. All that is a big science of wellness in Ayurveda. Now, coming from that, and mostly now the modern India is actually losing touch with it. But still, if you go to the grassroots, people unconsciously follow all those principles because they have been passed down ages to ages to age. But when I say modern India is losing it, because we are aping the West all the time.
But that's why we probably came up with these products to kind of reverse this
Exactly.
processed, highly ultra fatty, sugary foods, right? That how this is came to be, though.
You know why? Even though I'm a wonderful cook, I hate cooking. I personally hate cooking because it's time consuming.
Yeah,
Exactly. And then I was like, the best inventors in the world are the people who are lazy because they want to find the convenient and easy things to do. And I hated cooking primarily. I'm a foodie. I love food. Some people eat to live. I live to eat. I'm sorry. I love it. And so now, because I'm in a better space financially, I'm not some rich person now. I still am hand to mouth, but
mm,
I'm much more stable. I'm not lit. I have a roof over my head, which is good enough. Yes, it
mm.
is on mortgage, but I know I'm able to pay the mortgage. I don't know in how many years, probably 40, but I will. Having said all of that, I'm in a much better space. And I was like, I want to go back and take charge. I want to restart my nutritional journey. All the time when I ignored my body, I want to get my physical health back now.
You have time. You and now you it's time to start focusing on you.
Yes. And it's not just my physical health. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And I spoke with so many people. There are so many people in this country who go through the same cycle. We are a country of immigrants.
There's so many immigrants of every kind. My family's immigrants at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And even forget immigrants. Talk about the, as we just discussed, unfortunately, the food aisles here are full of what we throw away in India. So, so if we talk about the food aisles here, even the healthy options, if you pick up anything, if you turn it around and you see one item only, sugar, everything, even the savory items. Like the other day, I picked up quinoa noodles in one of the aisles and I was like, oh, that looks nice. That seems healthy because my son loves to eat noodles. I was like, oh, no, this is a healthy option. And I turned it and it contained 30 grams of sugar per serving. I'm
30?
like, how that healthy now? I was watching this interview of Gordon Ramsay, sorry, the best chef of the world. And he was watching and he was like, "What? The first time I went to India, I was super surprised. Everybody eats savory things early morning in the breakfast." And it was like weird to me because we all have been so used to of eating our pancakes, our sugary French toasts. And even the French toast we eat in India is a savory version. We have a French toast back in India, but it's a savory version of French toast. If you research it, the sugar, if you eat the first thing in the morning is sugar, your insulin levels are always high throughout the day. Savory thing early in the morning, even if it is not the most healthy thing, I'm not even telling you to eat like, okay, come and eat this. Eat whatever, but don't put sugar into it. If you change it to savory, your insulin levels would not rise so much. Thus, you would have much more energy throughout the day to work through the day.
What do you
These
know?
are basic things.
And yet it's brand new to us Canadians. We're like, huh? What do you mean we can't have sugar in our breakfast cereal? But isn't sugar part of a good breakfast? Isn't that what
Oh,
they say?
and these cereals, I know why my health took a big time toll after coming here. I mean, like I was eating all what we had here.
Yeah.
Nourishment, zero, 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 everything. Nothing to help you survive in a best way.
I had some videos recently. It has 0 grams of sugar. I had to put some sugar on it. It was like, there's no sugar in this thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad.
Well, I know that they tried to, when they try to reduce the sodium foods, what they did instead was increase the sugar.
And even otherwise, like unfortunately, Canadians eat so much sugar. The breakfast is always sugary. Most of, not always, I should not be generalizing it. Yes, most of it.
I mean,
Like,
can you blame us? We like our maple syrup.
yes. And I love maple syrup too, but not every day with it's too much sugar otherwise.
Health. We can't be like, going around, eating all the sugar every day with our every meal. That's not good for us.
No, sugar is never good. Sugar is, like they say, sitting is the new smoking. Sugar is worse than even cholesterol, I would say.
I probably would agree with you. So
I mean,
with that
nowadays we
thought in
are
mind,
even calling, like if you even the doctors here, all the medical sciences, everybody is claiming all the health issues that we are having in these countries, they're all related to our diet, the way
yeah,
we are eating. And one of the major things that changed in the corn syrup or corn became staple, which has so much sugar and it was added to everything
yeah,
because there was overproduction of it. As a
yes,
result, people got used to, and sugar is addictive. If you
it
get
is.
used to it, you cannot get away with from it.
It's like crack.
Yes, sodium is still better than sugar, I would say. If somebody eats high sodium diet, it's not good, but it's better than eating high sugar, I would say. That's my personal belief. I don't quote me on that from any nutritional perspective, but still, I think having more salt is harmful for you, but not as harmful as having so much sugar in your diet.
Makes sense. So, with that in mind, with so much sugar, you actually got the idea of NutrieEasy to reverse all this. What are your products like? What are your first products?
So the product line that I've launched was first contains no added sugar. That
Gotcha.
was my first core belief that there should be no added sugar. So I started with this. Anything that I'm going to work should not have any added sugar. Then I know the hardships we face with multiple jobs. We don't have time to cook from scratch. Even back then, if required, from whatever ingredients I was getting, I could have cooked healthy meals out of them, but it takes 3 to 4 hours. And I could not spend that time on cooking when I could go and work to get that food. So these were a couple of basic principles I had. It should be no sugar. I wanted it to be plant-based because plant-based food is much, much more healthy versus animal-based food. And there's multiple evidences, multiple studies around it. So I would not go further. So it had to be plant-based, it had to be no sugar added, and it needed to be convenient. And you could make a meal with the time crunch within 10 minutes max. Those were the three pillars I had. Having said that, I further researched what are the things or nutrients missing from Canadian American diet in a whole. We talk a lot in this country about protein, 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 protein rich food, protein this, and I'm not debating it. I'm one of the protein deficient persons, and I know I need more protein, especially people who go on plant-based diets or vegetarian diets are usually protein deficient. But unfortunately, in this country as a whole, if you would go and you just Google it, first thing that comes from the carbs, proteins, fats, one thing that people are deficient of is fiber. The basic,
Ah,
we are eating a lot of protein, but we are not able to absorb that protein. Why? Because our bodies do not have fiber. We are not
makes so
consuming
much
any
sense.
fiber. So even for that protein that we are consuming, for it to work, all the nutrients that we are getting, for them to be bioavailable for our bodies, we need iron, we need magnesium, we need so many. And those are exact things. Like if you go and Google it, first one is vitamin D, which unfortunately food cannot provide. You need sun for it. So if we
Yeah.
exclude that, I think the first is magnesium, iron, and fiber. These are that's the order.
Yes.
And as a result, unfortunately, our foods don't carry it. And those are all food things. These are something we should be consuming a lot. And then I went back, I'm like, okay, what things need to, and then the best available resource in this country, lentils. Canada produces so much of lentils and we export it. We are the largest exporter of lentils to the world. Canada is actually one of the largest producers of lentils and exporter of it. But you talk to any Canadian, how much lentils do they consume?
Very
Like,
little, only chili.
we don't even know all the lentils we produce here. People
No,
know
we don't.
mainly two or three lentils. That's it. And they black beans, that is also courtesy to Middle Eastern or Mexican cuisine, not really the Canadian cuisine. Otherwise, green lentils, but people don't like to eat them because they don't taste good for them. And why they don't taste good? Because we don't know how to cook them. And I was like, okay, these are the three pillars that I need to bridge. Lentils is an excellent source of all the ingredients all the deficiencies that Canadians have. They have a lot of fiber, they have a lot of magnesium, and they have a lot of iron. And that can be made much more available for our bodies if we sprout them. We can even increase the protein in them by sprouting.
What is sprouting?
Sprouting, okay. Do you know how the plants grow?
Yeah.
Consider lentils as the seeds.
All
Soak them
right.
in water, take them out once they have soaked for 10 to 12 hours, take them out, give them the humidity, give them everything, and let them sprout out tiny little plants out of them. That's sprouting. So they sprout the plant out. That's when they have so much higher nutrients, higher protein. And if you consume those sprouted lentils, the bioavailability of the nutrients is way higher than the normal one. So, for example, if you're eating lentils in general, 1 cup of lentils, if you're able to consume, let's say, 7 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber or magnesium, but if you eat the same 1 cup of sprouted lentils, chances are your whatever you consume, now your body is not discarding it, it's actually absorbing it. So, having said that, with the sprouted, that was my thing that I wanted to use sprouted lentils as the base for all my products. Not all the products, though, can be created. Then the second thing I researched was what is the basic staple of Canadian diet? Yes, it's meat, but that's not what I was working with. So, what is the second best staple? That's bread or any
Yes.
kind of. And I was like, okay, how can we replace that using sprouted lentils? And that's what I created. I created a mixture which can be used. It uses sprouted lentils as the base. It has the vegetables in it. It has all the complementing spices and herbs in it, as we were talking about the Ayurvedic principles, what works with what and what doesn't works with what. So I'm using the same knowledge to create the pairings between the lentil kind of vegetables and kind of herbs and spices. And thus I've created these mixes. They can be used to make pancakes kind of thing. Some are totally savory, which means you cannot have them with maple syrup. I know everybody loves maple syrup, but but you can have them with any kind of a sauce, chutney, or anything if you want to have it as a snack. But it is a complete balanced meal in itself. So it's a complete meal solution in that way. You can even bake a bread out of it. Just put it in the pan and put it in the oven, and the bread is ready. Or if you want to be creative and you have time, you can make little fritters or donuts like things with it. No need to add anything else, just mix it. The only thing people need to do, like, you just need to add water to it, and you can make either fritters, either pancake or waffle kind of a thing, or a bread. That's it.
That is versatile. It's accessible. and it's
Yes.
healthy.
Yes. And then I have also launched the second line of products. I know last time we met, those were not there, so you have no idea about it. We have created this instant, I'm using V because that's how I'm used to, but I've created this instant bowls, balanced bowls as I call it. So again, this pack, when you would receive it, it's a mix. All you need to do is put water and give it a boil. And a balanced, nourishing bowl with lentils, with vegetables, with spices, everything in it is ready. Now, the bowls do not use the sprouted lentils because you need to boil it, and sprouting and boiling doesn't go together. But it still contains lentils and it contains ancient grains as a base also along with it. So we have one quinoa based, we also have one oats based, and one is rice based. But the rice is a specific rice which is low on glycemic index.
Oh, nice. Do you have any other future products that are in the works, or is that your ones for now?
Oh no, I'm already working on something else. So once we have that, I'll share that with you.
Are there any farmers markets you're going to be going to, or?
Yeah, in fact, that's what I don't have a formal packaging yet. I don't have any kind of, but my products, because they are all safe and dry products, I'm already working. I'm in farmers market. I'm in Fairview. I'm also doing various pop-up markets. I'm also approved for brewery farmers market. Would be starting there very soon. Already working on getting a formal packaging done. We have our nutritional labels and everything sorted, and it was no surprise to me, but such a delight to see that we are very, very high on nutrients. There are many people, the response that I'm getting in the farmers markets, and I love giving them samples every time they try. Like last time when we met, but in the farmers markets, in the pop-up events, I give samples. I make them try it. And as soon as they have that one bite in the mouth, they're like, this is yum. And I'm like, exactly.
So tasting it is believing it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so is there anything else that we should know about NutrieEasy before we finish off? Anything, any tips you can give our listeners?
All I would say is, sorry to say so and break the bubble. We all love going out and eating out, and we love our convenience of just going and grabbing a pack.
Yeah,
Restaurants, places, they would always have their various factors play a role when they prepare food.
yeah,
And they would never be, and there are restaurants who prepare amazing, nutritious food, but then the cost goes high,
yeah. So they replace
very,
it with
very high. Yeah. And then they have those expenses of, they have to pay their rents, they have their workforce. So if you think going out and buying a fast food is healthy, no, it's not.
no.
Instead, that's what I'm creating. It's a fast, healthy meal kits or meal mixes within, like for the porridges, the porridges or the bowls, we are still working on the how to name it. We haven't named it. It only takes 5 minutes to prepare it precisely.
Wow,
Or one bag. So, for example, if I take an example of the rice and lentil one, it's 200 grams. All you need to do is add water and boil it, and it would give you 6 bowls of porridge.
wow. Because nowadays, you go to a restaurant, you spend $15, and all you got is one little burger, a few fries, and a drink. Is it?
Yep. And again, even with the mixes from which you can make a bread or a pancake or whatever, our pack is $10, and it can cook 7 to 8 of those pancakes if you're making pancakes. They are sorted for your 2 to 3 meals.
Wow. And again, it's much easier. We think that these, fast food or takeout is going to be so easy. You spend
No.
20, 30 minutes waiting around for somebody. Hopefully they'll show up.
Yeah.
And here,
Yeah.
it's a solution.
Yeah. And again, as the whole point why those were the pillars. It should be
Yeah.
functional, it should be easy, it should be nutritious. That was the most important one. And nutritious food has to be functional and had to be convenient. That was my whole thing. And when, another thing I would like to point out, like just yesterday I was at this market and there was this amazing great man right there. And first thing he saw plant-based and he said it's not real food. And I was like, okay, do you eat bread? It's exactly that. Is bread a real food? Then this is real food. And I'm not encouraging everybody to become vegan. No, I'm not. It's a personal choice. You can always pair plant-based breads or plant-based food, even for that matter, the bowls. My son he loves his chicken and loves his pork. He cooks that and puts chicken on top and then eats it, which is okay. You can put eggs into it, you can put chicken into it. It's your choice. You can always pair it with whatever you want.
And yet it's so much healthier. Products will actually be in places like Superstore, Sobeys one day, or Walmart.
That's the plan. That's exactly the plan. That's why I'm working on those packaging and everything. Now, in fact, the response, the feedback, it's amazing so far. Fingers crossed.
Do you have any last thoughts, Sana, before we finish this podcast episode?
The reason NutrieEasy exists today is because of my belief nutrition is not an option, it is a must. Everyone should have access to nutritional food, which we don't. And again, it should not take hours to prepare a nutritional food.
Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I truly appreciate your conversation and learning about how our food isn't quite the best as we think it is. We think we're food as Canadians. Look at this. We have vegetables, we have our grains, and yet here we are neglecting beans and the sources of food that could be helping us get healthier and happier. And looking at our stats, good grief, we need it. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope our listeners will subscribe and will learn more about your products. I'll put that in the description of the video. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you soon on our next one.